my name is Enrico Vannucci. I'm one of the programmers of Torino Short Film Market. I'm here just to say welcome. We are very happy to have this workshop today. We started a collaboration with the Media Desk Torino last year, developing these workshops for especially festivals. It went very well last year, and we said, why don't we do it this year as well? And it's good to see a lot of people here. Today, the title of the workshop is Boosting Your Film Festival, Financial Planning, Collaborations and Creativity at Film Festivals. As I said, the workshop is supported by Creative Europe Desk Media Torino. And today we will start with an introduction by Silvia Sandrone, here on my right, she is the head of Media Desk, and she will talk a little bit about the new media program, if I'm right. And then the workshop will be hosted by Doris Bauer, here on my left. And she will talk for like 45 minutes, right? More or less. Yeah, you know, she will, maybe. And she will like have, you know, her like lecture to you. After that, we will take a 15 minutes break, and then after the break, Doris will be joined by Gaschütz and Lloyd, and they will have a discussion about collaborations between festivals. And then you will also be able to ask questions to the panelists. I don't know, Doris, if you want, people can stop you, or I mean, like, if you have questions, you can. I mean, like, I don't know. Well, no, I mean, like, if you don't raise your hands and ask questions, of course. That's it mostly, I guess. And yeah, last thing is we have a lunch, right? Yeah. Yeah, the most important thing, of course, it's food. And after this, at 1, we have the lunch for everybody who registered, but I think everybody did, at Locanda Betti, which is like 200 meters from here. So, yeah, that's it. Enjoy, and yeah, have fun. Thank you.
Voila. Welcome, everybody. As Enrico said, I work at the media office. We are based in Turin, and it's the information and promotion office for Creative Europe program media in Italy, together with other 2 offices in Rome and in Bari. And our host organization is Istituto Luce Cinecittà. We decided to focus again on festivals and collaboration among festivals because, as you probably might already know, the European Commission and the Executive Agency have just published a new call with a new action for festival, which is the action that I'm going to present you today, support to European networks of festival. I don't know if you all know the media program. I suppose yes, I guess yes. It's the main fund for the audiovisual and cinema industry, supporting all the sectors from development of works, training for professional, and promotion and distribution of audiovisual works. In particular, one of the main priority for Creative Europe is the circulation of works, of films beyond the original country, the national borders. So. Distribution is very important, and of course it's very important for the European Commission to support festivals, because of course festivals are essential, are crucial in helping European films to achieve prominence, to achieve visibility, and cross-border access. So audience reach is another important priority for Creative Europe. There are also call for proposal specifically for that events. Well, now I'm going to give you a very short, I hope, because maybe this is the boring part of the workshop, so I will try to be short, but of course grants are also important. And yeah, I just wanted to say that in the sector of promotion and access to market, there are many events like co-production forum, pitching events, which are supported by media, and I'm very happy that Torino Short Film Market this year got for the first time media grant. And I think this was also essential in reaching such a public from participants from so many different countries. Jacopo Kessa yesterday told me that there are something like 45, 47 countries represented, and this is really one of the main goals for media. And also in our small workshop, we are very happy that we have this international dimension, and I think we have 15 countries represented, which is really good. Okay. Enrico, please, if I'm running out of time, just tell me. And okay, as I said before, we have a new call with a new action for networks of festival. The deadline will be in April, the 23rd of April. The budget is not a very high budget. It's 500,000 euros. And the maximum contribution per network is 180,000 euro, and per festival is 30,000. We also have a maximum co-financing rate, which is the 80% of all the eligible costs of the action. So the eligible applicants are festivals that join together in a network. So the applicant need to be a coordinator plus minimum 3 members, 3 other festivals established in 3 different countries in Europe, of course. So the coordinator will apply to the media program and will represent the other members that have to sign a letter of intent and to attach also to the application. But what is an eligible festival for media? An eligible festival is an audiovisual festival programming eligible films. So any genre, any categories of works like fiction, documentaries, animation, also VR works. The main objective is to, of course, to screen these films to the wider audience. The festival has to take place in a specific period of time and in a specific town, city. They have to show a clear and a regulation selection procedure. They have to describe, you have to describe your strategy. And in order to be eligible and to enter the selection, which is, by the way, very competitive, you need to have a minimum of 70% of the eligible programming coming from media countries. Media participate. Media sub-program is open to European Union countries, but also to countries which are not in the European Union but have signed an agreement with the European Commission. So we are now more than 40. We are now 39 countries in the media sub-program, and at least 50% of the film must be non-national, and 15 countries need to be represented. Of course, these eligible criteria concern all the network members, not only the coordinator. They have to fulfill, all the festivals have to fulfill these eligibility requirements. Yeah, as you can read, I don't know if you can see from, yeah, the 70% of the programming need to be European and made of a minimum of 100 feature films, or in case of short film festival, 400 shorts. As I said already, the festival needs to take place in Europe. And they have to show effective, concrete collaboration and partnership across borders, and to prove strategies for joint activities in order to expand their audience, the interest for European audiovisual works. It's also important, for instance, to have media literacy and film education initiatives inside your festival. So this is a general view of the expected results from the agency when it comes to cooperation and networks. So they expect to maximize results at European level in terms of costs, economies of scale, enhanced talent development, cross-border mobility, not only for works, but also for people, for the team of the festival, for professionals, drive innovation in digital. Innovation is a crucial topic for the European Commission, because media program is part of the DG Connect, so we have to keep it in mind, and also streamline best practices, knowledge sharing. Here I show you some examples of cooperation actions and projects. In terms of cost cutting, for instance, subtitles exchange, DCP storing, sharing transport, exchanges, accreditation, sharing service providers in both for screening and sound equipment. And cross-promotion, it's very important in terms of distribution of promotional material of all the festival partners of the network. Also advertising in all the catalogs of the partners network. Cross visibility on social media and website, and the promotion of the call for projects of each festival. Then we have, as we said, knowledge sharing, and it means exchange of expertise, exchange of contacts of professionals, master classes, training session, panel, roundtables, conference. Also joint film research and publication, so studies and reports that you can share, cross visits, and collaboration on educational material. So this is a very, as I said before, a very important point, because one of the priority of the European Commission is to develop a taste in the young audience for European films. So film education is really very encouraged, above all during the festival. Then we have mobility of the audiences and professionals, also in terms of cross-border student exchange, internship, jury members exchange. It can be also something that could be part of your cooperation projects, joint artistic residency, shared mentors, and talent scouts. And then, Yeah, of course, circulation of works, program exchange, joint awards, simultaneous screenings, joint film database, traveling exhibition, co-production of shorts, why not, and also their distribution. So also it's very important to develop an industry part in the festival, if it's possible. And then have focus. The focus can be on specific geographical areas, on specific countries or sections. Then about innovation and digital, it could be co-working on VOD platform, collaborative online tools, and joint DCP server, interactive children platform. These were just some examples of how you could develop your networking, your collaboration. And coming to type of film festival and focus, you can also try to build a network on the base of the type of the festival, so shorts, documentary, children film, animation, or by focus, geographical area, or other topics like green and sustainability, educational, human rights, disability, film in hospitals, so also some very specific topics. Yeah. Okay. And now these are the award criteria. We have 4 main award criteria, which are the relevance of the festival, quality of the content and activities, dissemination of project result, impact and sustainability, and quality of the network. Of course, each of these criteria is very well explained in the guidelines, and you should try to find a balance among all the criteria. Maybe you are stronger in, I don't know, for instance, in the dissemination. You are maybe weak in the quality of the network. So you should try to be, of course, aware of your weaknesses and demonstrate that you, that you could reinforce your project. And also to emphasize where the points in where you are stronger. And then in the guidelines you can have all the detail, or maybe we can also, yeah, because I'm running out of time. If you have any questions afterwards, we can maybe come back to that. I would like to leave you with this study, with this report, which was published this year by the European Commission. And this report aimed to map and evaluate the existing collaboration model among film festivals. It's possible to download it from the website of the European Commission, and it's really helpful to find out how you can develop your collaboration and networking. And I just wanted to add that the network can also be a new network. I mean, you can also build a new network and apply to this call for proposal, but it's maybe it's less competitive, and the executive agency is encouraging more already built networks. So it's better to work maybe on that. Okay, if I hope it was clear, and if you have any questions, maybe Enrico will answer afterwards at the end of. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much, and I leave the floor to Doris.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Warm welcome also from my side. Thank you, Silvia, for the introduction and also the invitation to this event. And also thanks to Enrico from Torino Short Film Market. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm happy to talk to you about financial planning, collaborations and creativity from a festival's perspective here today. My name is Doris Bauer and my festival is Vienna Shorts, the International Short Film Festival in Vienna, Austria. Since last year, I'm the festival director of this festival, so in this May, it was my first edition in this position, but I already know the festival very well because I've been working as a head programmer of the international competition, among other things, for many years. At the moment, it means my dear colleague and second festival director, Daniel Ebner, and me, we are preparing the next edition from the 28th of May to the 2nd of June 2020. And this will be the 17th edition of Vienna Shorts. With this presentation here, I would like to tell you about some experiences we made with the festival Vienna Shorts in terms of financing and collaboration. It's divided in 3 parts, but maybe I put the microphone somewhere. Sorry. Perfect, super. Some rearrangements. Good. Okay, can you hear me? Is it near enough? Okay. So it's 3 parts. Part 1 is the financial situation of Vienna Shorts and examples of special projects we did in the past years. Part 2 is a brief overview about the festival, followed by a deeper insights in statistics with an excursion to our new compliance guidelines. And part 3 gives some insights into some current collaborations of the festival. Yeah, as some of you maybe know, yesterday was the deadline for the festival call, Action 1 from media. And yes, we managed to deliver the extensive documents in time. So yeah, I hope you all did as well. Yeah, since 2016, Vienna Shorts gets a media grant. This support is very important for us, not only because there is 25,000 euro missing from our budget, but also because it has given us important recognition at European level. This and the qualifications for the International Film Awards like Academy Awards since 2016, BAFTA Awards since this year, European Film Awards since last year, and the Austrian Film Awards since the beginning of its existence has brought us attention from other sides such as filmmakers and other festivals. This makes the festival's reputation higher and networking easier. But it is also a financial added value as our income from submission fees increases rapidly year after year. In the meantime, the submission fees account for about 15% of our budget. The relationship between the funding institution and the festival is very much expressed in at least 2 areas. On the one hand, it is recognition and appreciation on the part of the funding institution when it places its trust in a festival. And this trust is usually expressed in monetary value. In addition, the festivals have the task of selecting the films supported by the funding agencies year after year and determining the value of a film by selecting them. That's how festivals legitimize funding decisions for film productions with their selection and their public audience. Besides media, most of other funding applications of Vienna Shorts were already submitted in September for the city of Vienna and for the federal government, but also for the collecting societies of the filmmakers. And yeah, the smaller funding partners will follow until around January now. Besides the applications for funding, first sponsoring mailings are already starting now. Vienna Shorts can fall back on many long-standing partnerships, but this area has changed a lot over the last few years, and maybe you have had the same experiences. It is more and more difficult to win real sponsoring partners. Very often, the cooperation is based on new projects which are developed and implemented for the sponsoring partners. Vienna Shorts has always been very active in these fields in the recent years. I would like to give you a few examples here. In 2018, Vienna Shorts built several small cinemas into an exhibition space at the Museums Quarter in Vienna and showed short films on the occasion of the 100-year anniversary of the Austrian Republic, reaching more than 8,000 people over the course of 2.5 months. This was handled by our association and completely separated from the festival, with its own budget, its own personal structure and management, and but with one goal in mind, to create financial added value for the festival. Allow me a little historical excursion here. 5 years ago, the Vienna Shorts Agency emerged from the festival and has since inspired almost 40,000 visitors to the short film forum at around 260 events. Last year, the organizational form as an independent unit was abandoned. Most agendas of the agency were moving back to the Independent Cinema Association. This is the association behind the festival. In order to be able to better coordinate the work around the year with the goals of the festival. From the agency, a new film distribution company has developed. It's Lemonade Films. Some of you might know Lemonade Films. Lemonade Films provide strategic advice to Austrian and European filmmakers and distribute their films and virtual reality projects worldwide. The managing directors, Maria Milovanovic and Julia Fabrik, who have been working for Vienna Shorts since 2008 and founded the agency in 2015. They are formally organized now independently with Lemonade Films, but are still closely associated with the festival and the Austrian industry. This tells a bit about our developments and our handling of further projects. Other examples are by initiating competitions and brokering content marketing jobs. The festival goal is also to create economic opportunities for talents. Together with the Erste Bank, one of Central Europe's biggest banks, we launched a short film competition, especially for young talents 2 years ago. Another short film competition has already been realized with the Vienna Tourist Board and also with Wien Energie. I will talk about it later. The festival has always been engaged in selected content marketing projects, for example, also for the Austrian filmmaker Veronika Schubert. She's the winner of the festival's Best Austrian Film Award in 2017. And her animation about Austria's cultural representation in foreign countries was commissioned by Austria's Federal Ministry for Foreign Affairs, Europe and Integration. And over the past years, Vienna Shorts has brokered more than 35 commissions. Okay, so besides those examples, and before I get to the figures and statistics of our budget now, I would like to give you, especially for those who do not know us or the festival, to give you a short general overview about the festival. Vienna Short shows between 250 and 350 short films from all over the world at several venues in Vienna, Vienna city center. The festival attracts in total more than 10,000 visitors in 6 days, and around we have 700 accredited artists, professional and critics. Out of 4,500 submissions, it grows every year, the festival presents a hand-picked selection from the most exceptional recent works in 2 international competitions. The sections are fiction and documentary. It's for fictional, for live-action shorts and for documentaries. The other one is animation avant-garde for animations and experimental works. The best national productions compete in the Austrian competition and for the Austrian Music Video Award. The program structure has been refreshed after 10 years and will only be roughly divided into 4 sections from 2020. The official selection I already mentioned. The section Expeditions. In the section we explore contemporary and historical corners and edges of the world and focus on the presentation of talents and influential artists with a singular creative vision. Then it's the section Expanded. In this section takes account of the eventfulness and direct nature of a festival and presents live formats like performances, film concerts, and also virtual reality events that go beyond the cinema screen. The section Academy provides a suitable framework for professional exchange in order to strengthen the examination of various cinematic forms, working methods, and socio-political themes. Okay, now I want to give you a deeper insight into our festival. I've prepared some charts. I hope I can find them now. Okay, full screen is somewhere here. Okay, thank you. Okay, in the first diagram here, I hope you can see it also from the back. It's very small. It's the years in the below, and on the side it's the money. It's our budget, an overview of the development of our budget from 2011 to 2020. It has increased from about 90,000 euro in 2011 to 285,000 euro this year, and planned 380 euro for next year. Yes, I will come back to this increase for next year later. As I put these numbers together for this presentation, I was amazed at how little money we had to make out a few years ago. I mean, yeah, I'm in charge for 1 year now, and finding those numbers was just a surprise. Before 2011, I don't know. I couldn't find those numbers anywhere, so I don't know how little it was. From 2013 to 2015, we implemented a lucrative short film competition called Night of Delight. I mentioned this earlier. It is this event together with Wien Energie. Wien Energie is the gas and electricity supplier in Vienna. And we made this event and also the competition, a gala event during the festival together with them. And this has made a significant contribution to stabilizing the festival during this period. It's between 2013 and 15, so it's the first going up. Since 2017, we have been charging entry fees for the competitions, which, as already mentioned, also contributes significantly to our budget. It's the next going up of the blue line. The next diagram shows the total budget in blue and the share of public funding in red. So you can clearly see in this overview that both lines are moving upwards. Yeah, that's good. And the increase in subsidies is accompanied by an overall increase in the budget. As usual in Europe, our festival is based entirely on subsidies and cannot exist independently of them. But the growing trust of the funding agencies is accompanied by an increase in trust from other sources, and that's important, I think. The gap between the red and the blue lines is even widening, as you can see at the end of those lines, and the festival can therefore more easily raise additional financing with growing funding over the years. Okay, the next diagram shows the percentage of the total budget contributed by public funding. Here you can see that this value is more or less always around 50%. Okay, and the next figure, it shows the revenues in absolute figures. So the blue funding line is moving strongly upwards again, while the red line for sponsoring and marketing in the years 2013 to 15 is moving strongly upwards. Yes, as I mentioned earlier. These figures have stagnated since the discontinuation of the project with Wien Energie. And you can see the light blue line. This is going up from, we put in this rest line the submission fees. So they are included in this line, so that's why they are going up in the last years. Then advertising revenues, it's the orange line, are rising steadily, as you can see, while the revenues from tickets, embassies, and donations have remained constant over the years. So those are the green and yellow, and yeah, we cannot see the donations. They are very small. Yeah, if there are any questions on this point, maybe we can talk directly, or I would go further on with my. It depends. It's from from nothing for the Austrians to 15 euros, I think, for international submissions. And our call is open now till end of January, so please, tell everybody to submit their short films. Okay, so now I would like to show you the last diagram, which already plays into the next topic, and which is extremely important to us as a festival. Here you can see the share of personnel costs in total budget. Yeah, we make every effort to ensure that this line shows a steady upward movement. For 2020, this is wrong. It goes up. It was my mistake. On the left side, it's the percentage. It's from, let's say, 50 to 70. 75 is the next line. So it's 50 to 70% from 2011 to 2019. More, I mean, 50% is the line below. It's this line. And this is 75. So it's between, over the years, it's between, I would say 60 and 70% of the total budget. For the festival, 3 people work for the festival for the whole year, and all the others, they work for 1 month, for 1 week to 3 months, it depends. And it's around 20 people in total for the organizational part, and then for the festival we have a lot more people with a lot of volunteers, and but also with the projectionist and all the people in during the festival. Yeah, it grows. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's about our employees, and this is also one reason why we have already promised a considerable increase in funding from our most important funding partner, the city of Vienna, for next year. That's we saw it before. The city's funding is to increase from 65,000 euros, currently promised, to 95,000 euros, and this is our biggest funding partner. So last summer we sat down and formulated this. The so-called compliance guidelines for Vienna Shorts. The frustration and annoyance about the conditions of a festival organization, which we actually do not agree with, led to this. It is important for us to set out the rules for how we are going to work. And this paper, who we are and what we stand for, is this result. Fairness is the core of this paper. So I also brought the document with me, but maybe it would take too long to go through it all in detail now. But if you're interested in this more, please feel free to ask me afterwards. But just in a nutshell, for years, Vienna Shorts has been strongly committed to fair payments for its employees. Unfortunately, this is still not possible for a festival of this size. In these guidelines, we have defined standards for ourselves, which are unavoidable for us and must be fulfilled. This is about fairness towards our employees, towards the filmmakers, the industry, the festival partners, like the funding institutions, and the audience, and also the environment. You talked about green and sustainability. That's important for festivals. It gets important for festivals as well. Yeah, so we can switch through this document. Yeah, it's a preamble of the festival directors. Then we explain the formal structure of the festival a bit, how it is organized and who is the association behind it. We explain the content structure. I talked a bit about that already. Then sometimes it is important to explain what is a short film festival still. Yeah, we tried it here again. Yeah, and here are some principles for us as a festival and how we want to work. I don't know if you can read it there, but we can talk about it later. It's some principles that are important for us in general. And then it comes to the interactions with each other and with others. And as I mentioned, with our employees, it's important for us to say that we take responsibility for them and we care about them. When it comes to filmmakers, it's also important to talk about screening fees, I guess, to talk about the responsibilities as a festival. Oh, sorry, for their work. And to explain how the selection works and how the award process is going on. And then the industry, it's important for us as a festival to this interchange between the guests and the industry. And the next part is the audience and the cooperation partners. We explain some important things here. Yeah, and the funders and sponsors. No, now it's public. No, but I mean, I can. We wanna put it out in the next week, so it will be public soon. It talks about the implementation of those guidelines and where are our duties and who makes the decisions here. And some contacts, and that's it, basically. If you have some specific questions about it, we can talk about it later. We can, not now, but yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sorry, I didn't know it was a small screen here. Okay, where was I? It was a strategy for us also to work with the funding institutions to formulate those principles. Because before the funding institutions weren't really happy with us asking more money for paying for fair payments for our employees. It was not really important to them, but in complete contrast to the previous defensive attitude, when we demanded more money for a fair remuneration of our personnel, this time they welcomed our comprehensive and positively formulated approach. So our funding partners have welcomed this current initiative with much sympathy. That's really good. So they have already they increased the sponsorship within the scope of their respective possibilities. As I mentioned, the city of Vienna, they already increased their fundings because of this activity. At the federal level, it is not possible to access a budget due to the unclear political situation. I mean, they don't have a budget now, the cultural institution. As you may know, the Conservative Party in Austria is still negotiating with the Greens for a new government, so they don't have a budget now. It's expected for June, so they can't tell us anything. Therefore, there is no room for those maneuvers here, even if the commitment is positively received by the responsible department head. Yeah, it was important to us to take our responsibility in this progress and not always just deport the problems to the others. That's why we did this. And I wanted just to briefly mention our recent efforts because I'm convinced that they are very important in general and important for festivals in general. But on the other hand, also because it can perhaps point out further possibilities for action for others. Now I come to the collaborations and beautiful projects that have grown out of them. Our clear standpoint first. Vienna Shorts is strongly focusing on initiating, maintaining and engaging in exchange with other film festivals on a national, European and international level in order to increase its position as a European meeting point, to facilitate circulation of European audiovisual works and to increase efficiency in the usage of resources. Despite a certain level of competition between festivals worldwide, we are convinced that each festival will always be stronger in a collaborative and cooperative environment. On the national level, we are involved in 2 festival associations. It's the Association of Austrian Film Festivals. Vienna Shorts is one of the founding members and long-time speakers. I was spokeswoman and Daniel was the other spokesperson of the Austrian Association of Film Festivals for a long time. We established this initiative in 2011. It promotes the work of 20 Austrian film festivals, addressing Austrian politicians and decision makers, as well as the Austrian and European film industry, and local cinemas and audiences. In 2016, on our initiative, the Austrian Film Festival report on the situation of film festivals in Austria was commissioned, which in turn gave us more arguments about the significance of film festivals in Austria. I brought this study with me, but I'm sorry, it's just in German. But if you're interested in the situation of Austrian film festivals in German, it's here. In Austria, all the other film industry segments are organized in more or less strong associations. It is very important to bring the festivals together to be able to represent the common interests loudly and strongly. As is the case with such large groups, it is not always easy to vote in favor of a common line, which everyone must support. Our experience, however, is that only a strong lobbying group can be successful. The other association in Austria is Fair Festival Work Now. I mentioned that fair pay is an important issue to us. My festival co-director, Daniel Ebner, is a co-founder of this young initiative as well. And the key mission here is to work for social security and adequate wages for festival workers. Then on the international level, we are members of the International Short Film Conference. I'm sure you know this organization. It's a worldwide platform for institutions that promote short filmmaking and short film presentation. Okay, so I come to the concrete networks we are in now on the European level. One is quite simply called European Short Film Network. It has been established in 2018 by 3 European short film festivals, the German festival Kurzfilmtage Oberhausen, the Dutch Go Short Festival, and Vienna Shorts, and has close ties to the British Associates Berwick Film and Media Arts Festival. The network, which will most probably expand further in the next years, originally started from practical needs. All the institutions use the young festival management tool called Film Chief. that is now further developed collaboratively, something like that. This saves us all time and money, as the costs for every development can be shared and every new tool then be implemented by each festival. This successful synergy has used as starting point for a stronger collaboration on a content level, including combined industry programs, combined thematic film programs, a shared video library, mutual support for artists and curators' mobility. Thus together actively and sustainably promoting short filmmaking and developing a set of online tools for all professionals visiting one of the involved festivals. Together, the festivals reach a wide-ranging audience and strive to make the short film form more accessible throughout Europe. About another European short film project, we will talk in more detail with Anne later on. I want to just mentioning it briefly. It's Talking Shorts. The critical examination of short film on an academic and journalistic level is still on a comparatively weak level, despite the clear professionalization of the festival scene over the past 10 to 15 years. A joint network initiative on festivals and film critics initiated by Filmfest Dresden and Vienna Shorts, as well as the FIPRESCI member Ricardo Brunn and the Nisimasa magazine editor-in-chief Nils Puttmann is changing this situation. From 2020 on, the project Talking Shorts will enable film critics to write about 2 films from each of the participating festivals and to receive payment for these reviews by the platform. The collected reviews will be published on a newly developed website. It's talkingshorts.com, if I'm right, which will also be promoted by all participating festivals, including Berlinale Shorts, Indie Lisboa, Encounters Film Festival, as well as 13 festivals more. This is the status now. Thus providing an overview of the most important short films of a season over the course of a year. The next network I want to present is Be Short Now. The project Be Short Now is a joint initiative of the festival's Torino Short Film Market. Thanks Enrico, he's the driving force behind it. Gijon International Film Festival, Go Short, Glasgow Short Film Festival, and Vienna Shorts, and has since 2019 been aiming to make the industry program of short film festivals more sustainable by recording panels, lectures or workshops, and making them available on a website. There is also a panel, I think tomorrow, a Be Short Now panel, tomorrow afternoon here in the Sala Grande. Yeah. The next network is Immersive Storytelling Lab, also with the Kurzfilmtage Oberhausen and Go Short, but under the lead of Encounters Festival in Bristol and with the participation of the Berlin Interfilm Festival and the Polish Shortwaves. It is currently also the Immersive Storytelling Lab for 2020-21 with a workshop series on immersive and collaborative projects in planning. But due to the Brexit, this project is at least questioned, and it is not clear how the potential funding agencies will react on this situation now. We work with other festivals in some other festival collaborations. One is the Triangle program, and we'll talk to Matt about it later. Since 2013, Vienna Shorts has organized the so-called Triangle program, which is a project for substantial international corporations. Every year, we invite 2 festivals to deal with a socio-political topic that we have defined and to curate a program for it. Together with Vienna Shorts program, the 3 programs then go on tour for all 3 festivals. Usually we work with our festival focus theme. Last year it was Courage, and before it was Trust Me or We Need to Disagree. We developed this collaborative program exchange also in order to intensify the collaborations that had already existed with numerous European and international film festivals. This initiative was praised as one of the best examples of multilateral festival collaboration at last year's Short Film Festival in Winterthur, And also at a media desk panel in Motorwund this year, the Triangle program was praised as one of the most substantial and strongest collaborations programs in the festival circuit. Yeah, that makes us very proud. The concept intend that Vienna Shorts and 2 of our festival partners will work together on this annual focus theme, as I mentioned, and then the 3 programs travel to all the 3 festivals. In the past years, we have collaborated with the short film festivals from Tampere, Uppsala, Winterthur, Hamburg, as well as with Indie Lisboa, Festival de Nouveau Cinema in Montreal, L'Alternativa in Barcelona, Motorwund Film Festival, Odense Film Festival, and Glasgow. Yeah, with you met. Apart from the Triangle cooperation, Vienna Shorts programs are regularly commissioned by festivals from other countries. On the one hand, to strengthen cooperation, on the other hand, also to save costs. In 2019, the late night program Popcorn was shown both in Vienna and in Nijmegen at the Gaschütz Festival before. Vienna Shorts curator Maria Milovanovic gave a guest performance with a cat-themed program in Uppsala this year. Curated programs were also presented in Albania, South Korea, Slovakia, and several countries more. Yeah, these are some current examples of our festival cooperations. But after all the fine examples, I can only add that one important thing is not to get tired and to advocate higher festival subsidies and more planning security, for example, through multi-year subsidies. It is essential that we work together to achieve this, and yeah, because the festival is still a basis we need for networking as well. And yeah, finally, I want to give you some 5 well-meant advices for the network work. Don't initiate the festival network without resources. That's important. You need time and good stuff and financial possibilities. Plan in advance who can take over the media application. I'm sure at some point you have to have somebody who writes this application. Because I'm sure everybody of you will find a supposedly matching call to whatever idea you have. Yeah, the common goals of the network should at least sound realistic. That's also important. Acknowledge from the beginning that you will have bad conscience because you have to answer an email for quite a long time, for some days, and vice versa. You will wait as well for your answers, I'm sure. And last but not least, enjoy working together with your partners and mostly friends. And develop nice ideas together, because cooperation always is better and brings out something new. And I think something new is what the world needs. Yeah, that's my last words. So thank you for your attention, and I think we will have a break now, and afterwards we will have this discussion with Anne and Matt. Thank you. First, so Anne is a Deputy Festival Director, as Enrico mentioned, of Filmfest Dresden in Germany. She's also Festival Coordinator and responsible for the Visegrad Forum. I hope we can talk about it a bit later as well. You have worked for a production company in Dresden for a long time, and you are a member of the International Commission of your festival. And since this year, you have also been involved in the management of the festival. The Filmfest Dresden, if you don't know anything about it, and I hope you will explain a bit more about your festival as well, was founded in 1989. So it's quite an old, 30-year-old festival. It is an international short film festival with more than 20,000 visitors and more than 60 film programs, which take place every year in April. It is one of the highest endowed short film festivals. That's what I learned now in Europe. It's true. Good. Yeah, a small introduction to Matt. Matt is festival director of the Glasgow Short Film Festival since 2008, and 2008 was the founding year of the festival. Something. 2010. Okay, sorry. It's Scotland's leading international short film festival. He was a short film programmer of Edinburgh International Film Festival before. You published a critical history of this festival, that's what I read. And you also have directed at least 3 short films. That I found out. No, not talking about his short films. Okay, we changed the subject. Okay, the Glasgow Short Film Festival exists since 2008. It is, compared to the Filmfest Dresden, quite a young festival. You have international and Scottish competition at your festival, and it takes place in March every year. Okay, I want to start talking with Anne about the Talking Shorts project. It will be launched in Clermont-Ferrand next year at the festival. And Talking Shorts, the magazine, will publish short film reviews from recent European films, including excerpts and trailers of the reviewed films, maybe, maybe not. There are a lot of festival partners involved, I mentioned them earlier. Could you explain us and tell us a bit about the concept, the idea, and the growing of this project?
Thank you. Maybe I start a little bit back with the history of the project, because as Doris already mentioned in her talk, as you might also know, there's not really a platform, an international platform where you can solely read short film reviews or film criticism on short films. And I think everybody who has a festival or works for a festival knows that local journalists don't really not necessarily grasp the concept of short film. At least in Dresden, that's the case. For example, there's no proper critical review of those. I don't know what it's like with you guys. At the same time, I think a couple of years ago in Winterthur, there was a big talk about more collaboration between film festivals, where already the idea was mentioned of maybe collaborating on a platform like this. And then I don't know, I think last year in Uppsala, so we always travel, so we always meet, and and there, I remember there I talked to Daniel about it for the first time, so we started developing this idea of maybe having this platform where we, so the core idea is just to have short film reviews written by film critics who know a lot about short film, because there are not actually that many film critics who also focus on short films. So there are a few, we all know them, but the rest of them, if you look at even at cinema publications, short films are rarely mentioned, unless you're a really big festival, probably like Oberhausen in Germany. They get good reviews, but then if it comes down to us or other festivals, the films don't get mentioned, the festivals don't get mentioned. So we started this with Ricardo Brunn, who is actually a film critic, who's in our selection committee in Dresden, and so he was very enthusiastic about the idea, and he has the insight on all the film criticism. So we talked a lot, and we developed this platform called talkingshorts.com. And as Doris also mentioned earlier, never start a project if you don't have any how do you say, funding, backup resources. Well, we have our resources, are our ideas. So the idea behind this is not because to involve or other short film festivals, such as we also talked to Glasgow Short Film Festival about it, for example, because we want the festivals to contribute to this platform, because without the festivals, this platform would not be able to exist, because we need the support of the platform. And maybe I also should mention, because this is also just starting out now, we're just in the middle of founding an association, because we actually want to, how do you say, we don't want Dresden or Vienna as festivals to be the main, how do you say, drive behind the website, or the platform. We want this to be independent, so everybody gets like, all the festivals are basically equal in this. Yeah, so we would like the structure would be that festivals become supporting members. They pay a little fee, and which will be the base for the platform. Because we, as you also mentioned, want to pay the film critics a fair fee for their reviews of the short films. Because if we want also, the idea is to send them to the other festivals, to the supporting festivals, to make short film more visible in the online or in general, to make it more visible. And also by creating this network of film festivals and to having those supporting festivals, I think you can also damn it, my English today. Yeah, you can nurture can nurture each other, you can support each other, you can make it, you can kind of make advertising for each other. So you kind of you promote the films better because, of course, you want to make it visible on your websites. This is one part of the project. The other part, which we think is important, is also to nurture young talents. That's a great word. So the idea, we tried this in Dresden this year for the first time, to have a workshop with for young and aspiring film critics. This is nothing new. This happens all the time at festivals, but also something that we noticed is these reviews then kind of disappear. You never read about the films. It's usually not in English, because we want the platform to be in English so everybody can read them. So these reviews disappear, and you don't really know what's happening to the participants. So these workshops are supposed to be part of. So yes, thank you for the microphone. So I continue with the workshops. So we would like the idea is to have workshops at several festivals. They don't need to be the same festivals, and to basically grow our own short film critics with time and make short film more visible. This, of course, is not possible just with the financial support of the participating festivals. So we also need to apply for funding, which we will do next year to apply on a European level for funding. What we did in Dresden this year, and maybe, I don't know when you want me to talk about it, but we have a thing in Dresden called the Visegrad Forum, which is for filmmakers from the Visegrad countries. In case you don't know the Visegrad countries, that's Czech Republic, Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary. And we have a forum for them every year, so we basically financed the first, or held the first workshop within this forum to finance the workshop, and also to have the first financial basis for the platform. So we created the platform, which is not online yet. It will be launched during the short film conference in Clermont. So we could have the first. So there is something there also for future funding. That's it in a nutshell, I hope.
Okay, we will talk about the details later, I guess. The thing we did together, the thing is the Triangle program. The invitation for the Triangle program, it came from our festival. Yeah, what was your first reaction, if you remember, and have you heard about the Triangle program before, and what were your experiences with it?
First of all, I'd just like to say, as we're in this room together, that I'm a citizen of the European Union. I hope to be a citizen of the European Union in 12 months. But if I'm not, then I'm also a citizen of Scotland, so hopefully a little time after that I will become a citizen of the European Union again. In fact, sorry, I'm just going to ignore your question altogether. Ironically, in the UK at the moment, there's probably the largest, most vocal pro-EU movement in any European country at all. So don't give up on us, is all I can say. Don't give up on us. Right, Triangle, yes. So yes, we had heard of it before. In fact, we'd stolen the idea before. So we did actually do a version of it the year previously with 2 festivals, and I'll talk a bit about that later on, because some of the lessons of what doesn't work about the Triangle came true that year, but not with Vienna. So yes, we were Daniel approached us with the theme "We Need to Disagree," and what was very nice is that he approached me first, and then we together decided on the third partner. And it was shortly after the Catalan referendum. Catalan, yes. So we thought it'd be appropriate to talk to L'Alternativa in Barcelona. And it was a very positive experience in many ways, because it allowed us to learn from our peers and to work with other experienced programmers without compromising on our own program. So each of us independently programs our own program, and yet the theme, it makes my life a lot easier because there's a theme that's been imposed on me in the nicest possible way. And the way it works, just logistically, is that each festival pays the screening fees for their program for 3 screenings at the 3 different festivals. So it means that we can, in working with the filmmakers, we can negotiate fees for 3 screenings. And it means also that we can work at a level that we can afford. So I can benefit from perhaps a more richer festival in that their program might show works that I couldn't afford to show on my own, and so I can show those works at my festival. And I can work at a level that I can afford, because Glasgow is perhaps closer to your 2011 budget than your 2020 budget. What else? Oh, it also allowed us to, it committed to festival programmers to attending our festival, who we can use in other ways at the festival. And then the other unexpected benefit is that my program is then seen at other festivals by other festival programmers who aren't attending Glasgow, to the point where we got invited to screenings to show the films in Brazil, 2 screenings in Brazil, and we were even offered to have our own travel and accommodation there. I mean, that's the positives in a nutshell. Shall I pass back to you? Yeah. So on the downside, and these are small challenges rather than problems, but for the festivals that aren't the host festival, I mean, obviously this is something that Vienna has been doing for 6 years or so, and for Vienna, the triangle theme, the overriding theme of the program is, it's on your poster. It's the kind of the driving theme of the festival that year. Whereas for us, it's unless we choose to build the whole festival around that theme, it's kind of additional to us. So it's a harder sell for our local audience. And I think also when we're programming for an international audience, there's obviously a difference to, particularly as these themes are generally about current affairs and social political events. There's a challenge in finding a program that will work for our own audience as well as an international audience. So I think when Daniel first approached me, he was interested perhaps in me presenting a program on Scotland versus England and independence referendum, and I felt by this point, like, what was this last year, 2 years ago, 2017? I can't remember. By the time we'd done it, I was sick of that subject. So the program I actually did was about ethnic minorities in the UK in the context of Brexit, which, was more interesting to me. It was, and I think it travelled, but it was perhaps not what Daniel was immediately expecting. Another challenge that we experienced the year before was the perhaps wavering commitment of the partner festivals. I mean, because the initiative is spread out over 3 festivals who are at different points in the calendar. Things can change. You know, we all experience sudden, unexpected drops in funding. And so by the time we'd got to the 3rd festival, they decided that they weren't able to host this the Triangle program. And so I'm suddenly having to renege on agreements with filmmakers. And yeah, and it's not something that I hold against that festival, but it was just the way it had to be. And also in terms of general communication, because we're all at different times of year, just ensuring that we can all deliver what's needed at the right time to each festival was a challenge, unless you're working quite ahead of time. And I think that particular year, Daniel and I started on it quite late. I think I'd written the blurb for my program, the 80 words brochure blurb, and still having no idea of what was going to be in the program or what it was going to be about. But generally speaking, it was a really, really positive experience.
Yeah, maybe we go on with this contact with the other festivals, or the support you get from other festivals, or how it works with the communication. Anna, you already mentioned support from other festivals is important to the Talking Shorts project. Is there also financial support involved? Maybe you talk a bit about how it works, how the festivals put their energy in these projects, like the partnering festivals.
So the idea is that each festival that wants to become a supporting festival pays, I mean, right now we say they pay 250 euros as a support fee for each year. We do know that for some festivals this is a lot of money. We're still thinking about if we might be a bit how we could go around this maybe. But so far you mentioned 13 festivals, so you're better with the numbers on that one than I am, because Daniel deals with a lot of the festivals. So the festivals we've talked to so far, they were all quite positive with this. And also for my part, for Filmfest Dresden, I also know where we could get this membership fee from, or how we can finance this. We want this because I think for us it's also like an ideological thing, kind of, or this, you want to have this platform because as short film festivals, of course, we want short film to be seen. So the main, for us, the main incentive for festivals should be to make short film seen. So if you want to support the platform, you support short film to be seen. What we would like to achieve in return is what you also mentioned before, that we send film critics to the festivals, or they are invited, or they get the films. So from each festival there will be reviews on short films, at least on 2 short films. And with reviews I don't mean just like a 250 character synopsis, but a proper profound review on, or maybe even an interview with a filmmaker, or maybe you have a great focus program at the festival, so there will be more feature on the festival or on the program, things like that. So we really want to make this a profound or a good research tool as well for other people, to find short films, to read about them. And in time to maybe also have some sort of archive on short films, because of course we all know after a couple of years most short films also kind of disappear once they've had their festival run. Sometimes it's difficult to find stuff on the films, so this platform should also be like a source of maybe even other sources to find out more about films or those films. So does that roughly answer your question? Yeah. So the supporting festivals support this kind of exchange.
And one more question about it. Are there other financing ideas from the festivals coming in? Like you have supporting festivals and they have new ideas for funding opportunities or something else? From maybe they bring money from their country, or does this work like that?
I heard about that, yes. We've spoken to, or Daniel has spoken to a couple of festivals, one from the UK and one from Poland. I'm looking into Shimon's direction. Well, apparently there are also financial sources on a national level, on a bigger scale, to support this kind of thing, to maybe support also film critics from those countries. I'm not really firm on the details yet, but this is also the nice thing about the exchange you have with the festivals. So you have these, everybody has different ideas of funding. I mean, we have a different, like I said, I use the Visegrad funding for this to also maybe promote short films from the region more. So I hope this will go a bit further as well, that we can also gather certain sources from different countries. And we also plan on applying with media, but we're not sure which call yet, because apparently the networking call doesn't apply to us, because it's a new initiative. So we're still looking, but yeah, you have to be creative with finances always.
Yeah, with the Triangle program, the theme was we need to disagree. As you mentioned, the impulse was from the Brexit vote and the independence vote of the Catalans. Before or after, I can't remember, we had the main theme was Trust Me from our festival, and we did a Triangle program with this theme, Trust Me. I think trust is very important for all those networking initiatives and corporations. As you mentioned, there were some problems with other festivals maybe. I mean, you trust them, but maybe they cannot fulfill because of other reasons. Yeah, besides the Triangle program, with other networking or collaborations with other festivals, how are your experiences in talking about that?
They're good. I mean, I think this was possibly the most well-structured program collaboration that we've experienced. Well-structured, considering the lack of kind of resources there were for it. I mean, there was no additional resources to make the Triangle happen. It relies on each festival doing what they can. Trust is interesting. It's never occurred to me not to trust my international colleagues. And, you know, I mean, well, we're quite chaotic at the best of times, so we're very sanguine when things don't happen the way they plan to. You know, we roll with the punches. I think in some ways I resist certain collaborations because partly because we just don't have enough space in the program for everything we'd like to do. And we're also quite suspicious sometimes when someone comes to us with lots of money to do something. I mean, but that's just my naturally truculent attitude, which is self-defeating, I suppose. But I think it's important for every festival to retain its own identity. You know, you become aware, going to other festivals, of how much you have in common, just in terms of the structure of your event and sometimes the actual program of your event. And I think you always have to find that balance, because obviously you're showing work to a local audience, and you want to bring the strongest new work that's being shown around everywhere, but also you want to forge your own path and make your own statement for your local audience and also for the international attendees. So, so I think I can be resistant to too much collaboration. Yeah. What was the question?
Thank you. Yeah, I want to talk about another crucial point, I think, in networking. It's time, as I mentioned before. How does it work? I mean, outside the festival work, it's everybody has their own festival, and you have a lot of work to do for the festival. And I know it's quite difficult sometimes to answer the emails and to work on the side projects every festival has. So how does this work with your projects or your festivals? How do you deal with the time, and how can you manage to find time for new projects?
You don't find time. You have to make time. I think we all work more than we should, or we all work more than is stated in our contracts. It's a good question that I cannot really answer. You have to really prioritize, I think. There will be times, also with Talking Shorts, for example, I know that from January until May I will have less time to concentrate on that project because we have to prepare the festival, which is happening in April. So the responsibility during that time will lie on another person, and which is also a reason why we want to have it away from the festival as well. So we have somebody who's in charge of that project, like a project coordinator. But apart from that, it's, I don't know, weekends, evenings, nights, morning. No, not mornings, but I don't know, how do you make time?
I mean, I think this is the point that we're all working to essentially the same schedule, but just not in sync with one another. So when one of you is super busy, you know, someone else has got plenty of time. And so I guess it's a case of talking about things that may or may not happen 3 or 4 years down the line. But also there's always an element of opportunism, and it just happens that something comes up just at the moment that I've got a massive gap, and I can jump on that. So yeah, it is about being patient and having managing your expectations, both of yourself and of others. And yeah, just always be talking to colleagues and without feeling the pressure of having to deliver something to those colleagues anytime soon.
Maybe just add that falls into the trust question as well. So you trust. I mean, of course, we all work in the same field, so we know why the other person might not reply within a day. So you have to. This also comes together with trust, and also, like you said, you have to be very open with each other regarding your time. So if you don't have the time, you just say it, and somebody else will do it, or you know, just don't make promises you can't keep, basically.
Okay, maybe you have some questions. Yeah, take your chance. Just raise your hands. Yeah, here is a question. Should we?
Hi, thanks for your time. And I was wondering if the Talking Shorts program that I hadn't heard before, and I think it's really interesting, is it based in any, I mean, the workshops you are planning or you already have that I didn't get that precisely, is it based in any academic approach to film criticism? Like, did you invite some critics that are specialized in short format criticism, and have you produced anything, any written knowledge about how to approach short film narratives in a critical way? I mean, I don't know if I'm clear about that. I mean, if you had any academic approach with the speakers in these workshops and stuff.
So when we did it for the first time this year, Ricardo, who is also an initiator of the platform, he was, because he's a film critic, he organized the workshop, and he's very well connected because he's in the, how do you say, the German Association for Film Critics. So he's really, really well connected, and he invited some film critics, the workshop, we did it because it was also for us a test, so we've never done this before. So we did the workshop actually 1 week prior to the festival. So and it was, I think, 4 participants, so very few people. And the first day, he got actually somebody who works at the university who talked a lot about film history more than film criticism. So the participants, they were going into the details of film in an academic way, and then the next couple of days they did interview techniques, they had writing exercises, also with film critics who are quite well established in Germany. So they did this for a few days, and then the festival started. And during the festival, Ricardo was basically their mentor. So they met every day. They talked about the day, which films or which programs they would watch. And he went through everything with them. And after the festival, he was the one who was rereading the text, helping them to accomplish more or look at it from different angles. So that's the kind of academic approach we had. And we hope that, or not we hope, a couple of those reviews will be published on the website as well.
I think it's so, we need that so much that about in generating interest around criticism for short films. So my input would be that not only the reviews are published, not only producing reviews on short film, but also some knowledge and some written material about how to approach short films in a critical way. So for this project you're having, I think it would be interesting not only write the reviews, but also some material that can be used by other people around the world, and how to approach short films from the critics' side. I don't know. It comes to mind that it would be really useful.
Yeah, this is a very good remark, and we could definitely think about this. I mean, we haven't thought about this until now, but it's actually a good idea to have maybe also some guidelines also for the workshops. Maybe to have some like your great paper. Maybe that's also good to have it for this kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really interesting point. We, because there isn't this kind of commercial drive behind writing on short film, I think it's important to think of short film criticism in different ways. And we actually had a symposium 3 or 4 years ago with academics and critics and filmmakers and podcasters, where we looked at short film criticism, we looked at short film curation as criticism, and short film making as criticism, so, you know, essay films and this. And I think, yeah, we have all that stuff somewhere, which I'll bring it out. But I think it's important to try and have a slightly more expanded notion of what criticism is in the context of short film, because no one's getting paid to produce it, I guess.
And I think it also will develop with time. So, you know, we haven't even launched the platform yet, but I think with time we will also realize what needs there are for this kind of thing. So I think there will be more, probably, hopefully.
Maybe there is another. Yeah, here's another question.
I didn't understand well about the screening fee for 3 festivals. I think you spoke about it. Can you explain it better? Probably is my problem. I didn't understand that.
Oh, okay.
If you have more questions, we can maybe try to collect them, so it will be easier. Also for the first part of the speech, so also for Doris or okay.
I have a question for Doris about the expansion of the private funding. What was your strategy in practice? How did you get more sponsors? And do you have also creative ideas, like instead of asking for money, asking for something different to support the festival? I don't know, like I would say scholarship for filmmakers or products or something like that. And about the triangle, I'm not sure I understood correctly. It was launched by Vienna, if I'm not mistaken, but then the members are always the same. They change every year. They change every year, but there is someone who is always there. It's like Vienna is always there, and you were there 1 year. Okay, and then you change. So it starts from you. You decide who the partners are, and how do you decide? And about the theme, is the same theme for the 3 festivals every year, or each festival proposes his own program with the theme? That was...
Other questions?
For Doris, I've seen in your guidelines draft that you define yourself as a political festival. In which way you are political, and does it affect the way you can draw some fundings for private funding?
There was another one there.
Hi, for talking shorts. Have you thought about making those films visible? Because obviously those films will be brand new. So have you thought about negotiating something with the filmmakers so that there is a window for the films to be seen as the criticism is being written? Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's enough. You as a first round, and we continue.
Okay, so the screening fees for the Triangle program, I'm sorry, I maybe rushed through this. So each festival of each year is responsible for their program at the 3 festivals. So each festival shows all 3 programs. So I was responsible for paying the screening fees for my program in Glasgow, then in Vienna, and then in Barcelona. And so this way I'm only speaking to one set of filmmakers, and I'm able to negotiate with them, say I'm going to show your film 3 times in 3 cities. And then, as it happened, we then got to show them twice in Brazil as well. And so I have a budget within my festival for screening fees, and I know how much I can afford for this program, and therefore I know who I can go to for films, and who in this context I won't be able to afford, you know. So I'm not being made to overreach myself by my partner festival, whereas Vienna, in theory, could bring in 16mm prints from, you know, anthology archives in New York, maybe. I mean, and spend huge amounts of money on their program, and I would benefit from that because I get to show those films at my festival. So it's a very fair system that is based on the means available to each festival. Vienna was not asking me to pay for their program at any time. Is that? Yeah. 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 Yes. Yeah. So they pay all costs for all 3 festivals for their program only. Maybe that's.
No, I mean, no, I mean that maybe answers also your question, because it's we invite 2 other festivals to share programs to one theme, to one main theme. So we invite 2 festivals and one main theme, one every year. So it means this network expands every year, because we always like every year we invite 2 other new festivals to this Triangle program. So it's there are always other festivals. Like every year there are 2 new festivals invited to share their programs for this Triangle program with us. And those 3 programs, they travel to all the 3 festivals. So it's not like we do the programs every year with the same festivals. We change the festivals invited for the Triangle program. And yeah, I hope your question is answered now. Yeah, how do we decide which festivals we invite? It's difficult. It's like every year it's difficult. But I don't know. Somehow we come to a decision every year. It's about the festivals we know, the people we met the last years, and people we trust, and like a lot of things we talked already. It's also about timing, because it's important that we can like all the 3 festivals or the programmers of the curated programs, the curators, they can visit all the 3 festivals. So it's important that the festivals are not in the same time, for example, like some organizational things. And we can manage to really program this thing. Like we also have the time to curate one program. It's for the next edition, so this is also important. And yeah, the festivals we choose, they have some, there is an existing contact usually, and there is a friendship most of the time. There is connection. We trust those festivals. We like them. We agree with their programming. We trust their their handwriting, their structure, their attitude towards short films and whatever they are. And yeah. And another question, the expansion of private funding. Actually, it is difficult. It's got worse the last years. We do a lot of things, like I mentioned, besides the festival. That's not just in networking with other festivals on the European level, but also on the in Austria and in Vienna. We do some exhibitions or we curate other programs for bigger partners or partners with money. So it's we actively go to them and ask them, or we contact them. Like we have our sponsoring employee at the festival. He is working now on lists of possible partners. We write an email to them. We really say, hey, we are here. We also have old contacts, like I mentioned, the Vienna Tourist Board. They are always very, nice to us. Let's put it that way. Or other partners, they support us for a long time now. Smaller partners, marketing partnerships. We do a lot involved in this. It's difficult. But it's hard. It's really hard work, and we invest a lot in this. A lot of energy, definitely. And it starts a month ago, and it goes till end of January. So it's I mean the financing part and the sponsorship thing. Usually we give them visibility, or we do some really new projects for them. I mean, we write some concepts for partners who need some visibility through something, let's say, like a short film competition. We do this quite often, or also for learning to write things. We do some projects with partners according to that. We do a lot of new projects with sponsoring partners, actually. Making films visible.
Films on talking shorts. Thank you for the question, because it's actually a question that we have encountered many times, and we have discussed this a lot. But talking shorts is not going to be a VOD platform. So the first thing, of course, is when films are really fresh, they are not usually available online, and we are fine with that. Because if we are lucky, you have a trailer to the film. What we also would do with the review or wherever to put like an information where you can find the film. I mean, sometimes they are already maybe on a VOD platform. Sometimes they're staff pick or whatever. So if this is available, we will use these resources. Or also, this is where the work part begins a lot. Or if films become available after a while, so we can also add this to the platform. And what we also want to do, which is maybe more interesting for the industry than the audience as such, is we will have contact details about the distribution of the film, for example, if you want to get in touch with somebody. So, but we will not, right now there's no plan to have it as a VOD platform, apart from maybe working with those platforms to have the information where the film is available.
One thing is open still about the political festival. In which way? Yeah, thanks. No, we consider ourselves as political film festival. That's what this one principle says. Yeah, we think it's important for a film festival to have a political standpoint, and I think political in a broader way, not in a narrow-minded way. It's important for us that we are independent of public institutions, of churches, political parties, like all this. This is important, but we think it is important also to stand up for some political ideas we have, or we should. I mean, the world needs. Let's put it that way. Also, in terms of programming, we select the films, so it's important to have in mind that it's important to show films from women as well as men, like such things. It's important to perceive yourself as a festival with a political standpoint. That's what we mean with that. Yeah, sorry.
Because I actually think that every festival somehow is political. I mean, because you always have a standpoint with your programming. So, and just by being open-minded, or even not being open-minded, you have the standpoint nevertheless. I mean, we have it, you have it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's political. It's not about aligning yourself with any specific political party or position. It's very much about that independence and about thinking about everything you do, both the program but also the way you show your films and how inclusive you are and how accessible. You know, I mean, everything's political in that sense, I guess.
Yeah, is there another question? Do you have some ideas you want to share with us? Yeah, sorry.
Can you just introduce yourself? I forgot to ask before. So.
Yes. Okay, so my name is Inja Korac. I come from Croatia, from a festival, Motown Film Festival. We were one of the partners, but I actually have the question for Media Desk regarding networks, Action 2. What I saw before on some presentations regarding this is that for this next call, the coordinator of the network could be only a festival with who is applying for that. So only the festival, which dates are from October? Is that true?
No, in fact, it's this is the only deadline for networks. So I mean, it doesn't. It's not so important the date of the action. It's the only deadline. So if you apply as a network, you don't have other possibilities. Yeah. If you already applied, yeah, it's possible. It's possible for a festival to apply for the first action as a single festival and then also be a member or coordinator of a network, yeah. But then, yeah, I mean, it's possible, but then we would see if, I mean, they can explain their strategy and how they can, if they will be able, of course, to manage the two projects. Yeah.
Because when you apply as a festival, you have, as she said, dates. I mean, if a festival takes place in January, can it be part of the network for, even if it's January of the 2021?
Yeah, because this is only linked to the single support for festival, not for the network. Yeah. Any other questions? Maybe you would like to add something else, or? Yeah.
Just a quick question, maybe out of topic, but thinking about creativity at film festivals, and it's, do you take time in your festivals to think about new ideas? Like do you really schedule meetings or weeks or planned thinking this web design sessions to organize the next edition and come up with ideas for the next edition? Because I've seen that sometimes you forget about that. You just set a plan, oh, we'll do this, and that's it. But after being in developing your film festival workshop in Wrocław and stuff like that, I've been thinking that it's really necessary to stop a bit and think about and design it, not just decide what we're going to do, but just design. So do you do this? Like, do you stop and do you generate those spaces to think about creativity at the festival?
Yeah, I mean, actually those guidelines I presented earlier were one of those, I don't know if they were super creative, but one of those projects, those summer projects. In summer we always have a breakout festivals in end of May, beginning of June. So July and August is the time we rethink things. And yeah, we are in the middle of this process. We will have a new website next year, and we have like a lot of changes going on at our festivals. So it's yeah, we have to do things from new things to look at them from a different angle. Yeah, we do this. I don't know. Your festival?
Not enough. It's definitely not enough. Yeah, I mean, it can be impossible to kind of stick to that, even if we intend to. The advantage of being a very small team, we're just 2 year-round part-time people, and then obviously a bigger team near the festival. But the advantage of that is that I feel like we're constantly having those conversations between us, and we feel like, you know, we're comfortable enough with each other to be throwing these ideas out. Sometimes when the other person is trying to get on with some work and gets a little bit annoyed about it, but and we have our WhatsApp conversation. I feel like we should publish one day, because at midnight, like I mean, I feel like my colleague is almost my second wife in many ways. Not sure she feels that way, and but yeah, I mean, I think when you are small, it's easier perhaps to just kind of keep that conversation going. But yeah, it's never enough.
It's never enough. Yes. Ideally, you have these times when you have peace and quiet and can think a lot. Since we happen in April, we also always kid ourselves that in summer we have a lot of time, which is not true. I think the issue in Dresden is we're quite big, and also throughout the year we're quite big. So during the summer we have quite an extensive summer open air tour. We do many side projects also to finance the festival. We're 6 people throughout the year. We have these days after the festival or in summer where we sit together and try to find or talk about the program for the following year. But it's never enough, because ideally now I would right now we're in the submission stage. Our call closes in a couple of weeks. But right now would also be a good time maybe you always want more time. That's the question about time. But you never have enough time, and you never, I think, you might not even, I think sometimes the exchange is not enough. I think we could always talk more. But for me it's also always very nice to travel around and talk to people who don't work for the festivals, because you get a lot of input also from your colleagues or from filmmakers or from these discussions. So you always collect ideas. They don't always happen, of course. They don't always come into fruition, but some of them might. Right?
One last question. I think it's 1 o'clock, but
I think it was a very important question. Thank you. I think for all representations of festival here. I think it's big tension, like about new things and things that make festival well established. Like, Anne mentioned as well, like we have some new things. It's very difficult to, sell it. I'm ex-festival director because always I want to do new things, man. I have like 1 million ideas, but it's like my very good festival director not say, okay, easy, slower, Thank you.